Well, then come run with me. Good morning, crew. What's happening? Welcome back to another edition of Running with James. Today we're back and we're talking about something specific that I've had a request for, and that's speed. That's top end speed. So you've built that aerobic base, you've got that great cardio efficiency, your heart is super efficient at processing oxygen, you got a great foundation, and so now we got to work on that 20%, right? We talk about the 80-20 rule, 80% easy running, 20% at speed, right? So today we're going to talk a little about that 20%. How do we get that top end speed? How do we work on that leg speed? So we're going to talk about three specific things. We're going to talk about drills and strides. We're also going to talk about tempo or threshold runs, what those really are. And then we're going to talk about the above race pace running, the fartleks, the long intervals, short intervals, things of that nature. And how we want to, as we get closer to a race, spend more time at that race pace. So I'm going to hit the road. I got to get some miles in, easy miles today. But check this out. All right, so going faster. Going faster is really just going to come down to what I call the training pyramid, okay? And so before we do any kind of training plan, before we get anywhere, we've got to make a decision on where we're going, right? So are we training for a 10K, a half marathon, a full marathon? You're going for that big boy. You got the big boy on the mind, right? So we need to know where we're going, and then we kind of have an idea or concept of how much time we have, okay? So for a marathon, we use that as an example. I like to use anywhere from like a 12 to 16 week block. Hopefully if you have some decent fitness. And so for about 12 to 16 weeks out, all we really want to do is start with that aerobic fitness, right? We always talk about that easy running, conversation pace running. And so in that block, and that could be anywhere from like 300, 500 miles, depending on how much you're running every single week. But we want to just build that aerobic fitness. And so that first step to getting that speed is going to be not only aerobic fitness, but developing good running form, so that efficiency. And so you do that by drills, high knees, butt kicks, A skips, B skips. You know, there's a myriad of different drills that you can do out there, and all of them help to promote good running form because they build new neural pathways to those muscles. So basically signals from your brain to your muscles telling you to do something, right? And then you also build additional strength. So hamstring strength, glute strength, right? And so what this does, it helps you not use as much energy when you're sending yourself down the road. So without ever having any more additional fitness, you're actually able to move faster just because you're moving more efficiently, right? And then the second part of that is going to be strides. And so strides are going to be that thing about 85 to 90% of your max speed. And what they do is, it's not a sprint, but what they do is they help with your turnover. So leg speed and turnover, and they send you, down the road or down the path or, around the track quicker because your body's used to moving at that, that higher speed. And like I said, it really does help promote better running form. And so in that first level of your training pyramid, that foundation, we work on good running form, and that's going to send you way up to the top of that pyramid, right? So the bigger the foundation, the higher the peak. All right, so the second block we're going to talk about is really kind of like a 4 to 12 week, right? So it's a pretty big time block. where we're building fitness. And really the focus is going to be still on that aerobic fitness, but then on the tempo / threshold runs, kind of hill repeats, and then those longer intervals. And so a longer interval is anything that's like 800 meters to say 2,000 meters. And so the tempo run is really kind of the foundation of your speed. And so what the tempo run basically is 20 to 30 minutes of consistent running at your 10K to half marathon pace. So anywhere kind of in that area, right? And so what this does is it helps to increase your lactate threshold. All right, so the lactate threshold basically is only about 60 minutes can you run at this pace before you start really feeling the burn, and you just can't go. Your body cannot process enough oxygen to flush out the waste, and so you feel the burn. Your body basically almost not shuts down, but your body's like, oh, we can't go anymore. We got to slow way down, okay? And so as we spend time in this zone, or we spend time, and this is kind of zone 4 if you're doing heart rate training, when you spend time here, you're increasing that lactate threshold. And so tempo runs are a foundation to marathon training, to longer distance training, because they really do help to build that leg strength, and more importantly, they help to build that mental tenacity to know that you can run an extended period of time at those faster paces, okay? This is also a great time to be doing hill work, okay? So hills are gonna be the thing that really helps to kind of build that leg strength. So if you ever ran a hill before, you know you really have to pick your knees up, you gotta pick your feet up, so it really helps with bringing those hip flexors and engaging those quads and your glutes, because you gotta use them to get up that hill. So it really helps to promote much better running form, right? Your posture is much better because you're having to lean forward to get up that hill, right? And so hill training is going to be one of those things that I say as well that's a great way to increase some really good leg speed, okay? And then that long interval, that 800 to 2,000 meters, those are great to kind of mess around with, you know. I like to actually plug those in when I'm probably like 6 to 8 weeks out from an event, just because it takes me a little bit faster than what my race pace is gonna be. And what it also does is it gets me used to running, you know, a mile at a time, or, you know, 1,000 meters at a time at this pace that really kind of hurts, right? And so this little section, this 8 to 12 week section, what this does more than anything is what I found is it gets you comfortable being uncomfortable, okay? And so your body can take a lot, right? It's normally our mind that tells us to shut down. So I like to think of this block as really the mental training station, where it really gets you to a place where you convince yourself and you build a lot of confidence that you really can go fast. All right, so this third block, and really key to speed, key to building great speed, is gonna be that last 2 to 4 week block away from your event. And in this time, really what you're doing is you're really honing in those race paces. You're spending some time on your long run, right? Maybe on your long run where you're actually running race pace, right? Whatever your goal race pace is, maybe it's the last 3 miles, the last 10K. I've seen some of the more professional guys, some of the really expert guys, they'll spend half of their long run distance at whatever race pace is, right? And they may even do progressive runs where they progressively increase their speed, okay? And so this is where you're gonna wanna do that. You're gonna wanna do those shorter intervals. So short intervals are gonna be anywhere from like 200 to 600 meters. And so since we're shortening that distance, that means we are increasing the speed, right? So we're getting much faster than whatever our goal race pace is. And what that does is that helps to increase that turnover, helps to get those legs going faster, right? Increase that cadence. And then it also helps to build leg speed. And if you know you can run, you know, a 7-minute mile pace for 800 meters, for half a mile, well then trying to run a 9-minute mile, say for 2 or 3 miles, it seems a lot easier, right? A lot more manageable. So it really helps to build more of that confidence as well. And then there is the fartlek, okay? And no, I am not using a goofy kid term, right? I'm not just making this up, right? It's I believe it's like a Swedish term or something like that. And basically the word actually means, the translation of the word is speed play. And so this is a great thing to implement, you know, those last few weeks into some of those runs, especially once you start making your taper and you're starting to do your recovery work, that on those shorter runs, or maybe even on your long run, where you just say, you know, I'm gonna be 2 minutes on, you know, 1 minute off. There's no like designated like structure to it. You just say, you know what, I'm going out for a run, I'm gonna speed up a little bit and then I'll slow down. I'll speed up a little bit and I'll slow down. And so it really kind of breaks up the monotony and then it gets those legs moving again. And these are really great to do on those days, on those recovery days. And like I said, on those days when you're really trying to work on that taper, just to keep those legs moving and keep them going quickly. Done, keep the heels, drive those knees. Whew, all right guys, 7 1/4 miles done. Nice and easy, nothing too difficult today. Hope you learned something today. Thanks for coming in today, guys. So if we did, we know that once we build that great foundation of aerobic fitness, then it's just all about hitting those peaks on race day, getting that leg speed so that we can get those PRs. So I really do appreciate every time you guys come in every single week, and I hope that you do learn something, right? It's all about changing our minds so that we can change our lives. So if you do, share us with your people that you care about, because you always share James with the people that you love. Come back next week. We're going to be doing another shoe review. We're going to be looking at that New Balance Rebel. It's kind of a fast shoe. I think you're going to like it. Do I like it? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm going to go hit these strides right now because I like to finish every single run with the stride. Get that leg speed up. I'm out. Woo! Woo! You're fast. Do you think you're fast? Yeah? Where'd you learn how to be fast?
I want to be Catboy, but I'm not put it on my backpack.
Oh, so Catboy taught you how to be fast.
No, I just put it in my backpack when I do my clean up.